And welcome live to Glen Cove High School on the North Shore of Long Island, where the Varsity Media Sports Network brings you Nassau Conference 3 football featuring the Big Red of Glen Cove against the North Shore Vikings. Good evening, everyone. Dylan Butler here with Ben Turchin. And Ben, it's homecoming here at Glen Cove, always a festive night. It finally feels like it is football time. It's the fall weather. It's getting a little bit crisp in the air, and this is a matchup. It should be a fun matchup of two teams coming off of Week 2 losses, really looking to kind of turn the page and get a big Week 3 win. Absolutely, Dylan. And one of the other pieces to this puzzle, this game, is the proximity, geographically speaking, that these schools are to one another. North Shore, Glen Cove separated only by 3 miles. Glen Cove calling tonight the Battle of the Cove. As you can see, we're not far away from each other up on the North Shore. North Shore. How'd you get 11 minutes out of that? It took me about 35 minutes this afternoon. It must be traffic from North Shore to Glen Cove, but as the bird flies, they say, it's really short distance. So I don't want to say they're rivals because not every year Glen Cove and North Shore play each other, but when they do, it's fun. The towns get into it, and we're excited to be here. Yeah, I mean, you've got to go back several years, right, where North Shore for a very long time was in Conference 4. Yep. Now they're in Conference 3, and then you've got the changes as well to Conference 3. So first matchup in quite a while, but it should be a fun one. North Shore, again, as we mentioned, 1-1. Week 1, a 36-7 win at Floral Park, and last week a tough 28-14 loss to Wantagh, a team that was in the championship game a year ago. For the Big Red, Week 1, 49-21 loss at Hewlett, and then Week 2, a tough 38-34 loss to Valley Stream North. We have the kickoff, and away we go. It's fumbled a little bit, but Glen Cove will have the ball. So a little bit of a shaky start for Glen Cove, but they will bring out their offense, and it's an offense that head coach Steve Tripp likes a lot. And it starts, of course, at the QB spot with a 3-year returning starter in Devon Christopher. See, the running back is Skylar Wilberg, Cowber, Farrell, Peter Rodriguez, the big guy to look out for receiver-wise, a very veteran offensive line as well. The two Aguiars not related, Anthony and Phil, Mikhail Barajas and Brandon Varela. Glen Cove, handoff, first down, not a lot there.
Gave him 2 on the play.
You give him 2 yards, and we'll take a look now at the North Shore defense. They run a 4-2-5 set, and Franco up front is one of the better guys to look out for. Franco and Mandel, especially at the ends. You've got LaRose, Racine, and a quality group. Second down, there's Rodriguez.
Close to a first down.
He gets out to just past the 30-yard line. And Ben, we mentioned Rodriguez is the guy to look out for Glen Cove. 6-foot senior, 4 receptions already on the year. 11 receptions on the year for 290 yards. And on that play, a nice little out, found himself open, and a nice job by the quarterback getting him the football. So Glen Cove with a nice play. Christopher again goes for the run up the middle. Not a lot going there for Wilberg. A bit of a different offensive set this year for Glen Cove. Again, Tripp taking over. He was a longtime assistant since 1986. It's his first year at the helm as the head coach. Says it's their air raid offense, kind of similar when you look at Washington State or the Arizona Cardinals in the NFL. Here's Christopher again out of the pocket. He's harassed, nearly an interception.
Christopher looking for Nolan.
Yeah, La Rosa, number 21 for North Shore. Dylan, the ball was in his hands, and I don't know, he just couldn't bring it in. Maybe he got excited, thought he was going to take it to the house for 6. Yeah, he was in good distance to do so. We have another look, and you see Christopher. That was the completion. So it's 3rd and 11 now, so it's a opportunity. Christopher takes it himself, cuts inside, and he'll get out to about the 36-yard line. It'll bring up 4th down. Yeah, it won't be enough here for the Big Red. I would expect Coach Tripp to
punt this back to North Shore. So a nice defensive stand there. And again, it could have been worse, Dylan, because it could have been the other way for 6 points. So even though Glen Cove probably wants a little bit more on offense, we'll see what North Shore does defensively.
Jorge Rios will do the punting. Pretty much just all the kicking for Big Red. Gets it off.
Almost blocked there.
End over end. It takes a North Shore bounce. It'll be down at about the 44-yard line. So we now bring out the North Shore offense. And they are led at the quarterback position by a first-year varsity starter in quarterback James D. Simone. Of course, you remember a year ago, Dan Lavorti, the two-time all-county quarterback. There's the rest of the offense. Look out for Murphy. He's a senior, Ledden, Scarola, and Russo. And a senior line. And again, you see Andrew Franco at left guard. He will do a lot of the blocking for this offense that's going to want to move quickly. Man in motion is Ledden. He gets the ball, breaks the tackle, gets out towards the 50 before he's taken down.
Well, if Jason Garcia, number 11, doesn't trip him up there for Glen Cove, that would have been a gain of much more for North Shore. So give him credit there, stopping him, the linebacker, number 11.
So we'll have seconds and about 4. We'll show you the defense after this play. There you see the handoff. Up the middle, barreling forward for the first down and a little bit more, a little extra help on that play. Gets past midfield, and we'll now take a look at the Glen Cove defense. They'll feature in a 4-4. And you see Rendon, Rivera, Varela, Alma, and Loftman up top. The linebackers Farrell, Calberer, Garcia, and Rios, Milanese, Bonet, and Rodriguez at safety. First down, back to pass. D. Simone finds a receiver, but that ball is dropped.
You know, and you wonder, Dylan, if North Shore is having an issue, if I really just guessing here, could it be the slickness of the football? Is it new? The night, the sky, it's not raining or anything like that. Just trying to figure out why two guys, the ball kind of slipped right out of their hands.
Yeah. And both could have potentially had big plays.
Both could have had touchdowns on each one.
Second down and 10.
So 2nd and 10 from the 44-yard line. Man in motion, fake handoff. They go the other way, a little reversal and some hard yards there to be had as there was La Rosa taken down by Calberer.
Yeah, Calberer, number 85 for Glen Cove. And he,
Third down and 9.
with a nice stop there for North Shore. I'm sorry, for Glen Cove. Makes it 3rd for the Vikings.
So we have trips left. See him at the bottom of your screen. D. Simone, as always, shotgun. Drops back deep, goes long this time. He's got a receiver deep, just past Max Mara.
Dylan, plenty of protection that time for the quarterback and a wide open receiver. Right now, North Shore, they're just not clicking. They have opportunities, but they're not putting it together early on in the game. Plenty of time.
Yeah, as you said, it is a lot of time. They will punt it away. You've got to figure, too, from where they're punting the football, unless, of course, it's a big return. We saw a few of those a week ago in the Oceanside Farmingdale Classic. But North Shore should, if it's not returned, have pretty good field position off this. So it's not the worst that they don't get a first down. There's the punt, line drive. It's fielded and fumbled, picked up by Rodriguez, spins to the outside, gets a nice block, still turns. There's a flag on the play out by midfield.
Brought down to the 9.
And Rodriguez taken down at about the 9. Flag way up the field.
On the special teams, usually that goes against the returning team. So wait and see, but this could push Glen Cove back. And then we talked about North Shore and the ball maybe being a little slick for them, but I forgot early the first play it was slick for Glen Cove as well, and we saw it again here. So something in the air tonight maybe.
Well, we're playing Phil Collins before.
I was about to say I was going to drop some Phil Collins on you on a Friday night.
So this goes against North Shore, it looks like.
Which is odd.
Yeah, advantageous certainly for Glen Cove. Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, so he's saying block in the back North Shore, but they're moving Glen Cove back.
I think the signal might be wrong.
I think, yeah.
I think he's off. He's a little confused.
Well, regardless, Glen Cove's going to have a long field. Oh, now they will move the ball up. So now we do have it right. We're out to the 14-yard line, it looks like. One of those we spoke about it before the start of this game. One of the rare all grass fields.
Yes. Not too many of those left.
Devon Christopher. Hands off. Nothing doing again. That up the middle is being clogged up. There's some big fellas for North Shore in the middle, and Popple-Cure, especially in Damp House. Popple-Cure, 6'4", 250, that defensive tackle, 3-year varsity player, first-year starter.
And he was in on the tackle. It was all 250 pounds on him with that grab. And Glen Cove going backwards here on this drive.
Yeah, lost about 4 on that. Christopher in motion. Finds a man. And that should be good for a first down. Rodriguez is right about at the marker. And instead, it looks like it'll be third down. Here we see it again. Again, this is the combination. Christopher is always trying to find Rodriguez.
Nice throw.
Really nice throw.
I mean, that's just extending the play when you can get out of the pocket and find a receiver coming across the field like that, and a really accurate throw by Christopher.
3rd and 1. Christopher, high snap. There's a flag on the play. Christopher points for the first down, but they'll go back the other way. It'll be an offensive holding penalty.
And you hate to see that for Glen Cove because they're trying to gain some momentum here, Dylan, after that nice play, and this to go backwards again.
And it kind of starts right with the snap, and there
it
you
is
see
right there,
the holds. Good job on the replay. And I think especially when that happens on a 3rd down, it's such a killer just for your psyche, for your momentum. Obviously, it's a spot foul, right, in high school, so you're backed up even further. It pretty much negates that previous passing play.
And in high school, Dylan, there's not too many plays drawn up for 3rd and 15s and things like that, so it's hard to get the first down.
Rodriguez again with the catch, spins up the middle, but they do a good job, the Vikings do, of wrapping him up well short of the first down.
Yeah, great job by North Shore defensively. Dan Agavino doing a great scheming there for the Vikings as we take another look at it.
This is one aspect of his game that Rodriguez has gotten better at, where he catches the football, then turns inside to try to make more of a play. Clearly North Shore saw that on film, did a good job wrapping up.
And now let's keep an eye on the returner here for North Shore, because we have seen the ball slip out of returner's hands twice today and on a couple of North Shore players. So I'll be real curious to see if it's a clean grab.
Punt is up. Really good one, too. And this one will bounce kind of evenly. It didn't take a bounce either way, and it'll be Glen Cove downing the football, and we will have more of this Nassau Conference 3 showdown. There's no score between North Shore and Glen Cove. You're watching Nassau Conference 3 football on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Picture of a young football.
Off the first down, DeSimone takes it himself out for a first down. Good run by DeSimone. Gets out to the 45-yard line. That's an aspect of what was a specialty of Lavorti, the former quarterback. Simone, more of a pocket guy, but he's already got 16 carries for 104 yards on the year before that one. There's your delayed handoff. Nice run up the middle, and a little bit more. Getting into the secondary and into the end zone. Touchdown run.
Was that Dimitri?
It was Forrest Dimitri taking it to the house. And there you see again, once he gets to the outside, that's a great job of running for Dimitri. And then the extra effort to get into the end zone.
Yeah, the speed of Dimitri getting through that Glen Cove defense. Sooner or later, you knew North Shore was going to break through, and they do so at the 5-minute and 10-second mark, getting on the board here first, 6-0.
Forrest Dimitri's first touchdown of the year, one of several lacrosse players in this North Shore football team. High snap, the kick is up, and it is good. Dimitri coming into this game, 12 carries, 86 yards. Those numbers will certainly go up a lot more. Real athletic kid. The funny thing is when you speak to Dan Agavino, he says he doesn't have the breakout speed. And we didn't necessarily see him separate there, but it was a smart run from Dimitri where he gets in the end zone.
One thing I've noticed in this game already, Dylan, is the line of North Shore seems to be a little bit bigger, a little bit quicker, a little bit faster, a little bit more aggressive. And when you do have the offense and defensive lines with that advantage, it's, as you see right here, not only on the run, but also on the defensive side. Glen Cove hasn't really been able to establish the run. They've moved the ball through the air. So we'll have to keep an eye on that tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the North Shore offensive line, Racine, 6'1", 215, Franco, 6'2", 230, Caparella, 6 feet, 220, Damphouse, 5'11", 195, Lerman, 5'10", 235. So they've got some beef up top, up front, and also some veterans as well.
Yeah, they've pushed the line in their favor so far early. It is early, so Glen Cove will get a chance here as well. But that's what I've noticed as the storyline develops here tonight.
Low kickoff, takes a bounce, fielded out at the 15-yard line. The run up the far sideline by Rodriguez. Again, he'll do a little bit of everything for Glen Cove.
I was about to say, Dylan, it seems like this is the guy we're going to keep our eyes on for Glen Cove. He's always touching the football, returning kicks, and through the air catching balls. So keep an eye on 3 today, folks, if you're a Glen Cove fan.
Yeah, Rodriguez, again, 2-year starter, 11 receptions, 290 yards, an average of 26 yards a reception, 5 touchdowns as well. It's out to the 34-yard line, and already an important possession here for Glen Cove, just to get the offense moving and keep their defense off the field for a few minutes.
And you know what, Dylan, the offense was moving, if not for the penalty. So I would just say stay away from getting in trouble. As you see right here, nice-looking play. Didn't go for much, but I like the creativity.
Yeah, you saw the
Short gain on the play.
Milanese getting the reception. You saw the blitz coming as well, so it was a quick out for Milanese. Gets about 2 yards out to the 36.
And it's obvious that Tripp has a lot of confidence in Christopher to get rid of the football. He's a very impressive-looking quarterback here for Glen Cove.
And they come again, and this time Christopher is wrapped up.
Christopher ahead for no gain.
Well, Dylan, what it's about right now, I don't want to harp on it, but this line is just penetrating Glen Cove right now and causing
very big happy birthday.
causing Glen Cove to gain a yard, or if that.
Here comes Racine. Watch him coming in, flying in, the big 6'1", 215 linebacker.
Yeah, their line is causing Glen Cove all kinds of issues here to start this game.
And another 3rd and long for the Big Red. Christopher, again, has to get it out quickly. Tried to find Rodriguez over the middle. That is incomplete, so another 3 and out for the Big Red.
That was just a little too strong on that pass. He did have the open receiver, but a little too much mustard on that throw, Dylan.
So now 2 men deep for North Shore. Looks like it's Jack Ledden and Ryan Murphy. Rios again back to punt for Glen Cove. led in the deep man. Low snap, gets it off good.
Line drive kick.
Line drive punt. Backing up.
Now, there's some inexperience on the part of number 17, Lorenzo Curcio, because that ball, Dylan, may have traveled further back, and he picked it up a little too quick.
So here comes the North Shore offense again. We saw Forrest Dimitri with a big touchdown run on their previous drive. They will start this one at their own 30.
And it's important for Glen Cove defensively here to get a stop. You don't want to trail 14-0 or 10-0 too soon in this game. North Shore is starting to pick up some momentum.
Yeah, one thing Tripp said leading up to this game is that they've been prone to the big play, the big run, the big touchdown, and we saw that certainly with that run by Dimitri. DeSimone fakes the handoff, takes it himself, runs up the middle, breaks the tackle, and he gets into the secondary. DeSimone is taken down by Rodriguez from behind, but he gets out to the 36-yard line of Glen Cove.
And DeSimone made that play happen with his juke mooks, a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. It's not like Glen Cove wasn't there and wasn't in their blocks. He just made guys miss. And then once he got to the open field, it was a speed race, and Rodriguez, Dylan, he's doing it on offense, he's doing it on special teams, he's doing it on defense for Glen Cove.
This time it's the handoff up the middle, barreling forward for about 3 or 4 yards.
One more thing on Rodriguez. If he doesn't make that tackle, he's to the house. Touchdown.
That was Ryan Murphy with the run. Murphy, 10 carries, 83 yards, 2-year starter, has a couple of touchdowns as well. Agavino describes him as a workhorse, just so fundamentally sound. Second down, DeSimone.
Pass complete.
Pass goes to the right. He had an open man. Looks like, though, it was dropped.
Gain of 2 on the play.
No, they say complete.
Looks like that was Mandel.
Did they give him the catch? It's hard to see from up here. I guess they did.
Yeah.
Completion.
Third down.
Third and about 7. DeSimone, plenty of time. Goes deep. He's got a man in the middle.
Pass complete.
It's complete, and it's a touchdown. Mike Russo with the touchdown. North Shore up 13-0. Extra point pending.
Dylan, let's take a look at this play. You're going to see a wide open receiver. I don't know if it's a blown coverage. Nice job by the quarterback to recognize middle of the field, no defenders within 5 yards of him. That's an easy score for North Shore.
Russo as well. If anything on that, too, and we talked about this last week, the ball was underthrown, but you'd rather do that when you've got a wide open man, of course, than overthrow it. Russo turned back, was able to make the reception. He's a guy that Agavino says, as the point extra is blocked.
Blocked by Rios.
Agavino says of Russo, of all of his players on varsity, has made the most, the greatest improvement from year to year. Here you see Rios on the edge coming in, and there you see him getting the block. But Russo, he just really asserted himself as a big part of the offense. He didn't have big numbers coming into this game. 1 carry for 2 yards, 1 reception for 9 yards. But Agavino says he goes 100 miles an hour every single play, so that hard work from Russo paid it off. And if you're Tripp, it's kind of that recurring theme of the giving up the big play.
And Glen Cove is a young team, and they're starting to put it together. But very simply, it's just, where was the defender? Was it a missed assignment? Did he not know it was called? Because that's all it is, Dylan. I mean, when somebody breaks through that wide open, really, it's not like he beat a guy, right? He didn't beat a guy. He just got into a position on the field where there was no defender. But I do want to make mention of tonight. We want to thank Peter Cardone, the athletic director of Glen Cove, for having us out here. And you look at the atmosphere, Dylan. We talked about it at the open. Look at the far side of the field and how many people are lining the fence here. This really is an event tonight.
Off the kickoff. Short return by Farrell.
And obviously you can't see on this side, on the near side of the field, but it's an equal amount of people in the bleachers lining the fence on this side. So it's nice to see the community come out both on the North Shore side tonight, Dylan, and also here at Glen Cove to support these football teams.
And I don't think you could have asked for a better night, right? I mean, last week we were out at Oceanside for that terrific game against Farmingdale. You could, of course, watch the replay of that. I urge you to do so because it was an amazing game right here on this YouTube channel. Not right now, though. Watch it after this game, of course. But a bit warm in Oceanside last week. This is perfect football weather.
They say that's the end of the quarter. The officials keeping it on the field, so we're done with the first.
Well, if they say it, then it's true, right? So we will go to a break. North Shore 13, Glen Cove nothing. End of one. You're watching Nassau Conference 3 football on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Interested in sponsoring a live stream broadcast? Varsity Media streams offer tremendous visibility for your business. Contact us today at 866-577-1950 for rates and packages.
And welcome back to Glen Cove. Start of the second quarter. And this is your first play of that quarter, and nothing doing there on that run. Mandela looked like on the tackle for loss, TFL.
Yeah, Aiden Mendel with the penetration. Got right through, and a big tackle for loss here for North Shore. So picking up after the touchdown with a nice defensive play.
Yeah, the ball spotted back at the 23-yard line. And again, that's not what you want, especially those first downs for Glen Cove. You want those positive yardage. You don't want to put too much pressure on your quarterback, Christopher, who has the ball now. Quick turn, got a rifle of an arm. It goes in and out of the arms of Rodriguez.
I really like this Devin Christopher, folks. And if you haven't watched too much Glen Cove football, then you got to look at Devon Christopher tonight and say, wow, this is a kid that might be opening up some eyes. Maybe there's some colleges at the D3, D2, D1 level taking a look at this game saying, wow, this kid can throw it. He's got some pop in that arm. He's got a live arm. He can move. He's mobile. We saw him make a nice throw in the first quarter, moving to the right side. So let's keep an eye on him tonight, Dylan.
There he is again. Quick release. That goes out of bounds. But you mentioned Christopher, right? A 3-year starter. He split some time as a sophomore. Was the guy a year ago. His numbers coming into this game, 27 of 52, 430 yards, 5 touchdowns. He had 2 interceptions, but 1 interception was in the end zone last game with 3 seconds left in that 38-34 loss to Valley Stream North. So he had his team rolling, had an opportunity. He tried to win the game. That ended up being an interception. 28 carries as well for 135 yards, which impresses me because he's a big guy at 6 foot, 220, but he's very mobile.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to watch the rest of this game to see what he'll do.
There's the punt. It's a short one, takes another bounce. This one will be fielded at about the 40-yard line, turning upfield and running left, and he's got some room and an extra step is Jack Ledden. And Ledden will get into Glen Cove territory.
Yeah, great run by Ledden. He's going to set North Shore up inside Glen Cove territory. And we'll take another look at it. Right up the middle, and then makes a move to the left, puts on the afterburners, Dylan. And Coach Dan Agavino will be very happy with field possession starting at the, 32-yard line? 30-yard line?
They move him up even a little bit more. 31, it looks like.
And one thing about this game is it can get out of hand real quick. So this is a very big defensive series for the Big Red here at home. Would like to see the crowd get into it a little bit, help out the home team.
First down, D. Simone. There's the handoff, running right, cutting back inside, and good job in pursuit, flying to the football and stopping Murphy from a big run.
And yeah, Jason, let's give credit to Jason Garcia, number 11, that linebacker, only at 5'5". Then look at him in the middle of the field. He's so tiny compared to everybody else, the rest of his teammates. But what hustle by number 11 to make that play.
Gain of 1 on the play, so second and 9. Man in motion to the left. That's where the handoff goes. Cutting up field is Ledden. He'll get a first down and a little bit more. Into the end zone goes Ledden for the touchdown.
There's a flag on the field, and we'll see if this is coming back.
Yeah, the flag is out at about the 16-yard line. And considering the conversation with Glen Cove defenders, this will go against North Shore, so this one will come back.
Yeah, you're probably going to get a hold here on one of the North Shore linemen.
Yeah, especially, too, when you saw where Ledden turned up, that's pretty much where the foul was. You see Cowber, the big number 85, making the clapping on that play, and you see the play again. Let's take another look. You see
See if we can see where the hold is.
end around, cutting inside.
Oh, it's a takedown.
Yeah,
oh, that's an easy call.
Pancake up the field.
For the linesman, that's a takedown. That was an easy one.
Mendel.
And Dylan, this is a break that Glen Cove needs, and we'll see if they can capitalize here. North Shore now with a much longer distance to go for first down. See if Glen Cove can take advantage of some momentum swings.
Yeah, about a 2nd and 6.
Much better than a touchdown.
That's for sure.
2nd down and 6.
Again, man in motion. This time the fake, the reversal goes to the left. That's LaRosa now getting into the second level. He barrels forward for the touchdown. No flags on the field.
And it gives you a little somersault into the end zone. You like that for the Vikings of North Shore. And right now, Dylan, it's just about some missed tackling, gap consistency here for Glen Cove. That's really all it is.
Nice misdirection. The spin. And as you said, a little bonus points for the celebration.
A little cherry on top there for the Vikings. And the crowd that is on hand for North Shore is really enjoying what they're seeing here so far. The ground game especially working well for North Shore.
North Shore will try to make up that extra point that was blocked by Ariels. They'll go for 2. And a little motion on the offense.
Ball start.
And again, Mendel up front tried to keep his feet. You saw him just kind of fall forward. This will back him up again, and I think they might go for the extra point now.
Well, right now, Coach Agavino has got things working for North Shore, up 19-0, 8:45 to go here in the second quarter. And they're looking to improve to 2-1. Got a lower seed this year in Conference 3, but who knows with the Vikings? They could always make some noise.
Listen, he was timeout for North Shore, but we'll stay here as we're talking about the Vikings. He says, look, he likes this group a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, you look at, I think a good indication is how his team responds after a loss, right? Now, they had a game against Wantagh, and of course, Wantagh 2 years ago, the conference champions. Last year, they were in the championship game, losing to Plain Edge. That's a game, it was 28-14, tough game. He said his guys weren't happy about that they came to practice refocused, they were upset. He said actually, for him it was a good loss because it was such a competitive game.
Right.
His guys were not feeling that way. They want more out of this season. He said that was a good sign. He liked what he saw coming off of that. He said this week in practice has been very good.
And I'll tell you what, it's way too early, so you can't say anything, but 19-0. They look like they may be on the way to a victory to improve to 2-1. And next week they get Hewlett at home, who's down big to Southside right now, really big, like 29-7. You don't want to get too far ahead, but North Shore 3-1, halfway through. Crazier things have happened.
All right, North Shore lined up for the 2-point conversion.
They will go for 2. Going over the middle, incomplete. Pressure was put on.
By Jason Garcia.
Good job by Garcia to apply that pressure, so the 2-point was no good. But there you see the score. North Shore 19, Glen Cove nothing. You're watching Nassau Conference 3 football on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And welcome back to Glen Cove. North Shore Vikings 19, Glen Cove nothing. You see 8:44 left in the first half. A good one, obviously, for North Shore on both sides of the football.
Yeah, very athletic team. A lot of these kids play lacrosse in the spring, and obviously the football coaches appreciate them coming out and playing football as well. So a lot of 2- and 3-sport athletes here for Coach Agavino and company.
Rodriguez shows that speed, gets out towards midfield before he's forced out of bounds. And you mentioned Christopher. Here's another special athlete in Peter Rodriguez, 2-year starter. Not the biggest guy, right? 5'9", 143. But he runs a great patterns. He's one of those yak guys, right? A lot of the yards after catch. Good example, Tripp said, was last week, took a screen pass against Valley Stream, ran back towards the middle as we saw earlier. That time, though, he got up the seam, took it 65 yards for a touchdown.
Well, the bottom line is you have to get him involved. He's got to touch the football on this series, whether through the air, run, end around, something creative. But you got to get the best players to touch the ball here down 19.
Going deep over the middle was Christopher. He was also pressured as well. Rodriguez downfield, incomplete.
He missed Tristan Nolan, number 10, on the far side of the field going down the sideline. Wide open. He just didn't see him there. That could have been a touchdown.
Big Andrew Franco applying the pressure. Two-way lineman for the Vikings.
Franco also a big-time lacrosse player.
Got some college interest for both sports.
Fumble
on the play. Vikings are signaling that they have it. And they do. There you see, great job getting the look. Wrestling for that football down low was Gianni Abu Hassan.
Great job, Dylan. Take another look.
Hey, you see the rush, not good ball protection, and stripped out. Abu Hassan gets down and wrestles the ball loose, and another big play for North Shore.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because, you want to see Glen Cove make a drive and possibly get into the end zone. It wasn't on the delivery QB to running back. There was nothing wrong there. I don't know if he ran into Abu Hassan or one of the defenders for North Shore, and that's how the ball came out. But now Vikings going the other way.
Yeah, they can really do some damage here. Man in motion. He gets the handoff. That's Ledden out to the outside. Stiff arm. Good job tackling, though. Kind of absorbing that stiff arm, right, and still making the tackle.
Rodriguez again. Rodriguez has been all over the field for Glen Cove.
Still a first down. There you see Ledden just simply getting to the outside. There's the stiff arm. Rodriguez stayed with him, though. Gain of about 14 on the play.
That's just athlete on athlete on that play.
And again, why not go to Ledden? Ledden, secondary, Ledden, goodbye. Touchdown, North Shore.
Touchdown, North Shore.
Dylan, I want you to look at the blocking when we see this replay. And right now, North Shore, and we talked about at the very beginning of the game, their offense and defensive lines have been more physical and more dominant. And take a look at the blocking right there at the line of scrimmage, down the field, down the field or up the field. The blocking has been phenomenal for North Shore.
Making that block, that last one up the field, Russo. He had the touchdown earlier, makes a huge block there. That will not go unnoticed by the coaching staff.
Now, what do we have here? Are they taking this off the board?
I don't think so.
Or is this after the touchdown?
I think they are.
We didn't see a flag on the field. I wonder if this is after touchdown penalty and this is a 2-point conversion?
They've got the yard markers up on the
markers
far
are
side.
still up, so I guess that touchdown didn't count.
Well, DeSimone will try to take it himself. Barrels forward.
Wilbur with the hit.
He's hit by Wilberg.
So obviously our score is not 25-0.
Yeah, so take
19
6 off of
Number
that.
Glen
Yeah, it'd be
Cove
19-0 still.
Is available for purchase by the gate.
Well, we don't have an answer as to what happened there. Negated a great play, though, for the Vikings.
Yeah, I feel bad for Russo. He had that great upfield block we were talking about him. There's a trip on the
No
play.
gain on the play.
That was Murphy.
I think Murphy just tripped over one of the offensive linemen there. A little unlucky there. So we don't know on that touchdown play that wasn't if it was a hold, because we spoke highly of the offensive line and even Russo upfield. And, you know, I just don't know what kind of call we didn't see there on the play.
Well, that was a loss of 1 now, so it's 2nd and 11. Ledden again, the man in motion. The reverse goes the other side. Again, a broken tackle. Cutting inside was Murphy, and then he's wrapped up and brought down shy of the first down mark. Well shy of the first down mark.
R.J. Alma, number 52, bringing him down. Nice penetration on his part.
Yeah, Alma 5'9", 203.
There's the big hit coming in.
Yeah, 52 in there as well. Oh, yeah, Alma making the play.
Third down.
Third down, Ledden out to the left. Twin receivers at the top of your screen. Here comes the blitz. DeSimone reads it well, runs to the outside, slings it in the end zone. Touchdown!
Caught for a touchdown.
What a play by DeSimone to get out of the pocket and hold for a couple of seconds, buy himself some time, and then find the open receiver.
And Mandel with the score. Here you see it again. The blitz comes from the left. Look at that, just escaping the pocket, looking, and then a little sidearm throw to the back of the end zone.
What made that play great by DeSimone is, Dylan, he was running out of real estate. One more step and he's out of bounds, but had the wherewithal to find his receiver in the back of the end zone. That is an outstanding play.
We could definitively say that was a touchdown. And this is the extra point attempt. It is up, and it is no good.
Extra point is no good.
So that, it's funny. Coaches always want to find something to complain about, something to talk about. And that so far, I think, is the only thing for North Shore. It's the point after. You had one blocked. You had another attempt go awry, that one as well.
Yeah, just a little wide to the left there on the miss.
But nothing else, everything else going North Shore's way. Vikings lead Glen Cove 25-0, 4:38 left in the second quarter. We'll have more of this Nassau Conference 3 showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Glen Cove down 25.
Interested in sponsoring a live stream broadcast? Varsity Media Streams offer tremendous visibility for your business. Contact us today at 866-577-1950 for rates and packages.
Welcome back to Glen Cove. Dylan Butler, Ben Turchin here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. It's our Varsity Media Game of the Week. It's North Shore and Glen Cove, and it's all Vikings thus far in this first half. Kickoff fielded about the 25-yard line. Wilbur tries to cut to the outside. He's still up, and he is taken down shy of the 30-yard line.
Abel Hassan with the tackle for North Shore.
By the way, when I spoke to Agavino, I said, can it go over your pronunciations? And I said, I'm gonna get this guy. Don't even tell me. And I said Abu Hassan. He said, wow, it only took me 4 years. But I said, no, it's because we did a lacrosse game.
Well, I'm glad you're admitting that to the audience, because you could have said, you just knew, but
No.
you cheated.
No. I did my homework.
Well, the question is, did you get it right in the spring the first time you saw this team? We got to go back and watch that one also.
It did. I admit that was my biggest concern heading into that game, and I think I did all right with it. Christopher does pretty good, too, getting to the outside, and looks like he danced just past the first-line marker, if not right at it. Of course, the sticks, as you would understand, they get dropped as soon as the action comes their way.
What I like about what Steve Tripp, the head coach for Glen Cove, is doing is he's keeping the ball in one of his best playmakers' hands. I don't know if he got the first down or was close to the first down, but that's what he needs to do to get the Big Red back in this game.
He has a player down, back out by the first down marker.
Yeah, it's Nolan, number 10 for Glen Cove.
We've got what's great about what we're doing here, Varsity Media Sports Network, is we've got a game of the week, right? There's always a lot of games. Of course, we were in Oceanside last week, that tremendous game against Farmingdale. And we've got some big ones as well coming up. 2 games as well next week.
Yeah, let's start with the Friday night game. We've got Oceanside at Freeport.
Yeah, that's going to be a great game.
We're excited about that one.
Yeah, so we go to Freeport. We were at Oceanside. Great atmosphere at Oceanside. It's always a great one at Freeport as well. Russ Sellen, one of the best coaches on Long Island, if not New York State. Oceanside, of course, looking to bounce back from that loss at home to Farmingdale, so that we start your weekend there.
Right.
And then Saturday, another good one as well on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We go from Freeport and then head, I guess, not too far from here, right, where we've got Seaford taking on Cold Spring Harbor. Always a good game between those two.
Yeah, those are the powerhouses in Conference 4. That game's at Cold Spring Harbor under the lights. Saturday, though, not Friday night lights, Saturday night lights.
That's all right.
Yeah. So a nice doubleheader for Varsity Media next weekend at Freeport, at Cold Spring Harbor, and we're looking forward to both games.
And, of course, follow the Varsity Media handle on Twitter for more information. We'll have more announcements of games as we move forward. First down, Cowbrewer in motion. It's Christopher taking it himself. He's wrapped up. Nowhere to go. Look like Racine, 52, is in there.
That line for North Shore has caused Glen Cove all kinds of problems tonight. It's been the difference in this game.
Loss of about 3 yards. Twin receivers on the right. Timeout, though, for Glen Cove. I think Tripp didn't quite like that formation there, and we'll keep it right here. And again, Glen Cove coming off that really tough 38-34 loss last week right here against Valley Stream North. In that game, Christopher, as we mentioned earlier, intercepted in the end zone by Felipe Ramirez with 3 seconds left. Timothy Hutchinson as well, a very good running back for Valley Stream North. 20 carries, 361 yards for 3 TDs. The TDs, and this is what Tripp was saying coming into this game, 65, 24, and 59 yards. So those are the big plays that he's referring to. But, you know, one thing when you think about Glen Cove, and again, Tripp has been part of this for decades as an assistant coach since 1986, first year now at the helm. He says that offensively they want to make things fun. They're throwing the ball a lot more than they have in the past. They're getting a lot of players involved. And one fun thing that he says that they're doing is they've got competitions. He wants to make practice fun for these guys. And he says they've got this they have 5 groups. They have 5 different coaches, 5 groups. They do conditioning stations where they count the reps. So over the course of 5 days, they figure out who wins. They make an announcement. That group's winner gets to pick the pregame music. By the way, Peter Rodriguez, no surprise, his group has won back-to-back weeks.
What did he pick? Do we know?
Well, the problem here, as the pass goes in and out of Rodriguez's arms, we didn't quite hear the music working, right, in the pregame right here. So I think we heard more of the, I think, AD's choosing, right? We heard some Journey, we heard some AC/DC. I'm not sure Peter Rodriguez was picking Whitesnake and AC/DC, but
does he know Phil Collins?
But he says, look, you know, it's all about having fun, even just coming to practice, not making it a chore.
Right.
And you know, kudos to Tripp and his guys for doing that. Christopher, under pressure, lobs it upfield, and that's incomplete. Flag on the play, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could easily get DPI there, defensive pass interference, and that's what they're going to go with. And we'll take another look at that, but I thought it was a good call.
This, by the way, is another improvement in Christopher's game as a senior. A year ago, he was throwing to the guy. Now he's throwing where the guy should be. And there you see the flag come in.
I take it back. We're having these issues in the NFL with the pass interference at first look. I thought that was good defense. But you know what? Glen Cove needs a couple of breaks in this game, and we'll see if they can capitalize here off that call. But again, I did not think on the replay that was pass interference.
They go out to the 50-yard line. Chain Crew's got to hustle. Christopher, he's got to hustle as well. Dumps it down low and swatted down. That's what you get with some big dudes on the line. That's what Jacob Gatke is, 6'1", 220-pound senior. What a great story Gatke is. He's a first-year football player, not just varsity, not JV. He's never played organized football. He's a hockey guy, big-time hockey player, wanted to come out. And Agavino said that's one of the hardest things to do, especially as a senior. But he said his athleticism, he's a big dude. He puts him out in the middle of his linebacking crew. He's done a great job.
A big play there.
Second down, Christopher in motion. Overthrows this time again. Intended target was Rodriguez.
And the problem with Christopher on these high throws is he's just not set. You know, he's a little anxious, wants to make the big throw. He needs to set his feet. He needs to come through a little bit more, and he needs to bring those balls down. It's this excitement thing. That's all it is, because that's an open receiver, Dylan, and that should be completed.
So again, sets up a 3rd and long, 3rd and 10 from the 50-yard line. And you know under 3 minutes left in the second quarter.
Sorry to interrupt, but you know this is 2-down territory for Glen Cove.
Christopher tucks inside, and he's wrapped up. Nowhere to go. He'll lose about 2 or 3 on that play.
And if you're Coach Steve Tripp, you're down 25-0. I know you're by the 50-yard line here, midfield. I think you have to go for it.
And again, that was a collective effort by the North Shore defense.
Yeah, I'm okay ticking some time off the clock, because if you don't get it, you don't want to leave North Shore with too much time. But you need to make something happen here. Go into the locker room with at least something on the board.
We've got Rios at the bottom of your screen. That's number 1. Calber is in motion at the slot. Twin receivers at the top. And Christopher's got Wilbur on his hip. Christopher rolls out under pressure. Barrels forward. Will not get nearly enough for the first down. So it will be a turnover on downs. North Shore will take over at about their own 47-yard line.
Yeah, unlucky there for Glen Cove. We'll take another look at it. Not much doing, though. Stingy defense by the Vikings. Opens up for a second, and that's why Christopher elected to run. But you got a defender beating him after 2 yards. There's not much more Glen Cove can do.
And again, we saw number 61, Gatke, right in the middle of things.
Yeah, Gatke was all over that series defensively for North Shore.
So let's see if North Shore can capitalize here under 2 minutes left in this second quarter. Vikings have been in control really from the beginning. Again, man in motion, handoff goes inside, and cutting inside was Ledden. He'll get out towards midfield.
R.J. Alma with the stop.
Alma again with the tackle.
Yep, and Agavino, head coach for North Shore. Keeping the ball on the ground right now. Clock is showing 1:30-ish. So we've seen some passing. We saw a big one for a touchdown. But you'd think, Dylan, at some point, if they're going to score here to end the half, they're going to have to move the ball through the air. Although I say then, they've had some big runs too. So.
Well, you got trips left now.
1:15 to go in the half.
DeSimone, plenty of time. Good block in front of him, too. He goes deep, and he had a guy open. Just missed him.
That time was Mara.
I like the block that was picked up by the running back as well to give DeSimone even extra time. Watch this from the running back to his right hip. Nice block. Looks like he blocked Calber. And DeSimone got the ball up in the air for Mara, incomplete. Minute 1 left in this second quarter. Lenny Scarola at the bottom of your screen.
3rd down and 7.
First varsity start, by the way, for Lenny. His twin brother, Will, such a big part. Here comes DeSimone spinning out of the way. Left Calber, and end-over-end throw goes out of bounds. That could have been a lot worse for North Shore.
Yeah, open receiver at about the 10-yard line, just couldn't connect. But what about the job to elude the blitzer and give himself some time here?
That was Cowber, and you see him pointing out and then just throws it downfield. A bit of a Hail Mary kind of a look.
Yeah. So now, believe it or not, Glen Cove's going to get the ball back here with enough time.
Yeah, so the Big Red with a big stop.
4th down 7.
4th and 7. Cowber comes. They're bringing the house. There's the punt. Gets it off. Takes a North Shore bounce. Fielded by Rodriguez, but he's cut down. What a great tackle up the field by Luke Kenny, number 31.
And if he doesn't make that tackle, Rodriguez has yards. So great open field tackle.
Yeah, Kenny, the 2-year starter on defense, a really good shutdown outside linebacker. Look at that tackle by Kenny. And also, that's kind of a tackle. Kenny is usually that guy as well. You see him staying on 31. He's that guy that gets the rest of his team pumped. And that's a play that'll get him pumped as well. Really intense player. Kenny, the 5'11", 160-pound senior.
Now Coach Tripp's got to dig deep into his bag of tricks, Dylan. What does he have here? 41 seconds, and has to go about 90 yards or so, 80 yards.
And Christopher barks out the plays. He's under pressure, just dumps it out, trying to find 26, Wilberg. But again, both ends, it looked like they're collapsing in and putting Christopher on a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and I thought he was close to a connection there. It was a nice job by the quarterback and just past his outstretched hands. Clock stops, though, so.
And that's the thing you've got to be a little bit concerned about if you're Glen Cove, because you've got 38 seconds. You're deep in your own zone. You don't want to give North Shore that opportunity to maybe take one more strike. Christopher. Back to pass, dumps it over the middle. Intercepted.
Pass is intercepted.
Intercepted by Abu Hassan. He is all over the place. Got a fumble recovery earlier, and we'll take another look. He's right over the middle. Christopher with the pass.
Wow. A diving interception.
Well, a second ago I said this is the one thing you don't want if you're Glen Cove, and now North Shore can go for that additional score in this first half.
Yeah, that's just an outstanding defensive play. Give North Shore a ton of credit. Not much you can do there.
DeSimone, plenty of time, goes over the middle. It's deflected, almost intercepted by Rodriguez.
Yeah, I don't know if he really could have brought that one down, but he does the next best thing. Knock it down. Make sure it doesn't go into your offender's hands. Nice throw, by the way.
Yeah, plenty of time, too. Good cover, good protection on the play.
And it did look like Rodriguez had a shot to pick that off, but like I said, next best thing.
And also to make matters worse for Glen Cove, North Shore will have the ball when we start the second half. They won that toss, and they declined for the second half.
Want to tell Glen Cove fans to stick with us at halftime. We'll talk to the athletic director, Peter Cardone, who's doing a great job here in his second year at Glen Cove.
DeSimone goes end zone. Oh, what a play defensively broken up.
Incomplete pass. Edson Murillo on the coverage.
That looked to be 6. Watch it again here, Ben.
Oh, at the last second, Edson Murillo got his hands in there and knocked it away. Nice defensive play.
Great defensive play. That was a touchdown for sure.
19 seconds to go in the half. Third down.
Oh, third down now. Now trips left. DeSimone. The pressure comes. Goes over the middle, and he overthrows his intended receiver, who was Ledden. Scarola.
But DeSimone's got an arm on him, Dylan. Very impressive.
Yeah, he does. And that's one of the things that Agavino says that he calls a timeout. He says he throws a really strong ball. He's doing a good job getting his feet underneath him. But that timing and stride, which only comes with more reps, isn't quite there. But again, he reminds us, certainly, and I'm sure he does, of DeSimone. This is only his third varsity start, right? So it's going to take time.
Right.
But he's that true pocket passer with an absolute cannon for an arm.
It's an asset for Agavino to have that this year. And we had mentioned, things are going their way right now in this game. Of course, we have a whole second half to play, but that's an improvement to 2-1 if it continues this way. And then you got to on the schedule, 2-1, you get Hewlett at home, who's down big to Southside.
How about Agavino as we the bus rolled up? We saw him as he was coming off the bus. He was all business tonight.
Yeah.
He was not joking around.
No.
This is a business trip. It's a short one, as we detailed earlier, but he and his guys came off. They were laser focused.
And I like how I said to him, this is the Battle of the Cove. And he said, well, not for us. And, North Shore's in Seacliff. So I said, Dan, do you prefer the cliff over the Cove? I mean, it's semantics.
He said, it goes, it's a football game. We got to win.
That's correct.
DeSimone goes end zone. Little contact by Rodriguez, and there's the flag.
No way. That is a terrible situation for Glen Cove.
And it comes as time looks like it was expired as well. So
saw 2 seconds left on the clock, so we'll see. 2 seconds, rather, if they're going to give him that time.
And there's the pass interference call. So they will have 2 seconds to operate with. So one more chance for the Vikings to go end zone.
And I would not be surprised here if they actually convert on this. Stranger things have happened.
Oh, here we go. DeSimone spins out, looks, goes back across his body, incomplete, trying to find
No flags. That's the end of the first
Ledin.
half.
It was incomplete. Well, what a half it was for North Shore.
And that was all broken up by 2 defenders for Glen Cove, 17 and 85. They came through up front, and they forced the quarterback to get rid of that ball a little bit quicker than he wanted to, as we'll see on the replay here, off the spin. But it didn't fool the 2 Glen Cove defenders. Nice job.
Very good job defensively there by Glen Cove. And what a half it was for the Vikings. We'll take a quick break, and you'll have your special guest here at halftime. We just walked into the booth. It's halftime here, North Shore 25, Glen Cove nothing. You're watching Nassau Conference 3 football on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Interested in sponsoring a live stream broadcast? Varsity Media Streams offer tremendous visibility for your business. Contact us today at 866-577-1950 for rates and packages.
And welcome back to Glen Cove. Our score at half, North Shore 25 and the Big Red 0. It's a pleasure to be joined by their athletic director, entering his third season, Pete Cardone, spending a minute or two with us in the booth. Pete, thanks for a couple of minutes here. A great atmosphere. I know you're calling it the Battle of the Cove. Just talk to us a little bit about the community coming out and supporting tonight.
This is a fantastic atmosphere for our community members as well as our school district. First of all, I'd like to thank the Board of Education, Dr. Anna, Dr. Izio, Victoria Galante, and all the staff members, and obviously my coach and team here. To get everybody here in the community, it's fantastic. We have the great marching band, the kick line, the cheerleading, the football players, and the crowd is fantastic to really grow the sport because we want to continue to grow the sport here, football at Glen Cove.
And I know that's been a big thing for you, getting to know you over the past couple of years here. You really want to see sports grow, participation grow here at Glen Cove. How has that been going for you in your time here?
So it's going great, and one of the great initiatives we do have, so like during halftime for say today, we're having Glen Cove Junior Football and Glen Cove Junior Cheerleading do a great halftime show, a little exhibition, in effort to get them hooked on to Glen Cove and getting involved with sports and hopefully keep them in the system. So I think that by getting the community involved from all grades, from K to 12 early, is going to grow the sports in the whole district.
And you were telling me earlier this week that you're seeing participation numbers at Glen Cove go up for athletics. You got to be excited about that.
Oh, it's extremely exciting. The kids are excited. We have a good new initiatives. We got brand new uniforms rolling out. Very positive stuff. Social media is helping, and also I want to thank Varsity Media for shooting this game out there because it's definitely growing our program. And I'm so excited to see we're moving in the right direction.
Now I got a funny question to ask you, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but the nickname Glen Cove, we see the Big Red, but also we see Knights. And a lot of us have been confused here, so set us straight. Are you guys the Big Red or are you guys the Knights?
We are the Big Red Knights.
There we go.
There we go. Big Red Knights, and we're proud. And as you see, we're the great Knight mascot in the field. But the most important is the school spirit we have here more than anything. It's such a great thing to see community and everyone out here having a good time.
And when we choose a game and we decide where we're going to go, obviously atmosphere is a big thing. We're really impressed. We talked about it on the first half. You see the North Shore people on the far side of the field, and we can't see in the broadcast the Glen Cove people, but they really came out today to support. The bleachers are completely packed. You've got fans on the fence. You've got to feel really good about that
this
tonight.
Is beautiful. You know what? We're in neighboring towns. We might be, opponents, but at the end of the day, we're family here in North Shore and Glen Cove. And to see this many people come out from North Shore, I'd like to thank Don Lang and welcome him back to the district. I'm happy he's healthy, and this is fantastic to see both towns work together. And the best part is the Junior Football Showcase, Junior Cheerleading. It's actually a combination of North Shore and Glen Cove kids and bonding as communities. So I'm so proud to have North Shore here as well as my fans, and I'm looking forward to a competitive second half.
And as you see on the screen, Big Red Knights, that's the Instagram handle for Glen Cove. So we invite everybody to follow your account, follow Glen Cove Athletics. There it is on Instagram, Big Red Knights. What we'll do is we'll keep it here for halftime. We'll show the cheerleaders and the football and the band. Some exciting stuff happening at halftime. Pete, we thank you for joining us.
Thank you for this opportunity and what's called Varsity Media for everything they do for us. Thank you so much.
All right. That's Peter Cardone, the athletic director for Glen Cove. We'll keep it here for the halftime ceremonies.
Just let me know when.
Interested in sponsoring a live stream broadcast? Varsity Media Streams offer tremendous visibility for your business. Contact us today at 866-577-1950 for rates and packages.
Yeah, set me free and give me death, there ain't no other choices. When I lay down to go to sleep, I keep on hearing voices. Little whispers in my head, man, is you fake or loyal? Why no water, that the sign of baby picking poison. These little demons living underneath my bed creeping. Know the real monster lives above them all sleeping. That subtle breathing in your closet every single evening. Thought you never see me again, looks can be deceiving. When they hear the sound of the drum, they'll be saying, oh Lord, here they come. Yeah, here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Here we come. And when you hear the sound of the drum, we'll be saying, here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come. Hey, here we come. Here we come.
Interested in sponsoring a live stream broadcast? Varsity Media Streams offer tremendous visibility for your business. Contact us today at 866-577-1950 for rates and packages.
Set me free and give me death, there ain't no other choices. When I lay down to go to sleep, I keep on hearing voices. Little whispers in my head, man, is you fake or loyal? Why no water, death the sign of baby, pick your poison. These little demons living underneath my bed, creeping. Know the real monster lives above them all, sleeping. That subtle breathing in your closet every single evening. Thought you never see me again, looks can be deceiving. When they hear the sound of the drum, they'll be saying, oh Lord, here they come. Yeah, here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Here we come. And when you hear the sound of the drum, we'll be saying, here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come. Hey, here we come. Here we come.
Interested in sponsoring a live stream broadcast? Varsity Media Streams offer tremendous visibility for your business. Contact us today at 866-577-1950 for rates and packages.
And welcome back to Glen Cove High School. Dylan Butler, Ben Turchin here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Second half, as you see from the scoreboard, about 2 minutes away. First half all North Shore. Fantastic first half on both sides of the ball for the visiting Vikings. They come into this game at a 1-1 record. They won week 1 against Floral Park 36-7 before that tough loss to Wantagh 28-14 in week 2. So they're looking to try to go to 2-1 on the season. The Big Red of Glen Cove 0-2. They lost week 1 to Hewlett 49-21 in that tough one to Valley Stream North 38-34. But North Shore, Ben, certainly you'd have to say in that first half, opportunistic on both sides of the football, and they have the deserved 25-0 lead.
Yeah, they've played great. I totally agree with everything you just said. Offense, defense, and that's a big time score here at halftime.
So this is our game of the week. Of course, last week again, great one out at Oceanside, where Oceanside beat Farmingdale. Farmingdale came back to beat Oceanside.
Yeah, that was an unbelievable game. We were treated to last-second play for that game.
When you talk about being treated, what an unbelievable halftime we had here at Glen Cove. I was so impressed. Not only, you've got the marching band, you've got the cheerleaders out here. You had the mites, if you will, the mini the kids come running around. You had the younger cheerleaders as well. It was truly, and one of the things I love so much about high school football, Ben, and we have it here. It's a community game. It brings the community out, and that was the case here. So kudos certainly to Pete. Onside kick recovered, it looks like, by Glen Cove.
Did it go far enough, though?
It went right past the 50-yard line.
And it did.
So how about that by Coach Tripp? You asked in the first half to get the tricks out of the bag. There's one.
Yeah, we have a little bit of a huddle at midfield, but let's see. I mean, all it has to do is go 10.
Yeah, you see it's set up at the 40, right?
Yep.
So it's got to go past the 50.
And no one could touch it. Now, did he touch it before?
I thought he did.
If he touched it before, then it shouldn't be Glen Cove's ball. But the question is, did the officials see that? And it looks like they're giving it to North Shore on the signal. It looks like it's going to go to North Shore.
Well, if that's the case, that's a great call. As you saw from our replay, the touch came before the 50. It looked like about 7 yards. So great call by the officials, as North Shore will start at the 49. Here's some Conference 3 scores.
Yeah, Southside beat Hewlett today. They're rolling. They're 3-0. This is a surprise at halftime. Mineola's up 3-0 on Bethpage on the road as we get play action here. And some of the other games in Conference 3 are happening tomorrow.
La Rosa gets out to the 46-yard line, first play of the second half.
Mineola, Dylan, what's interesting about that game is they are new to Conference 3. They spent a lot of time in Conference 4, and to go into Bethpage on Friday night at halftime and be up 3-0, Danny Guido, that's a pretty impressive job by him.
Second down and 6 yards.
Second and 6
for North Shore.
Keep you updated for those Conference 3 fans around Nassau County.
The man in motion is Ledden, and again gets the outside stiff arm, and again wrapped up by Rodriguez, who works him out of bounds, but it'll be a first down for the Vikings.
North Shore's offense has been firing on all cylinders, and with that offensive line, they've had a lot of holes open up for their running backs. And like you said, nothing has changed here in the second half early.
Yeah, Ledden came into this game 6 receptions, 116 yards, and Agavino said we run the jet sweep for him, and you could see why. He gets around the end and gets those yards after carry. There's Ledden in motion, the fake handoff, the misdirection goes inside, and some hard yards there for Phil LaRosa.
And let's give some credit to the offensive coordinator for North Shore. That would be Bill Madigan. He's got Glen Cove on their toes and their heels. He's got some nice play calls here for the Vikings. He's been a long-time assistant for Coach Dan Agavino for North Shore.
Yeah, Agavino in his 18th year at the helm.
That's a lot of years coaching.
Second down and 5.
2nd and 5 after those hard yards by LaRosa. Delayed handoff, nothing doing though. Good read by the Big Red D, and the flags come in late.
They don't know what that's about, but they were not fooled on that fake handoff or play action, whatever you want to call it.
You wonder if it's a face mask considering how late they came, and it is. So that's a killer for Glen Cove, right? Because you had the assignments that you read it well, the delay, you come in, and then the face mask.
I don't know how they saw that. I mean, obviously they're on the field, but tough to get at that angle from up here. And just
it's only a 5-yard, not that 15-yard variety,
Right.
so it'll bring up a 2nd and 1.
Second down and 1.
Twin receivers to the left. Handoff. And not a lot. I think he might have gotten the first down. Rivera gets the stop. LaRosa again with the run. The officials checking it out, wondering if they need to bring out the chains. And they will. So it's that close for LaRosa, a guy who Agavino says we're asking him to pound the ball. And he's been a nice 1-2 combination with Ledden, hasn't he? Because he's gotten those between tackles kind of runs. There you see, trying to dance to the outside, looking for something. Great wrap-up by Rivera Varela, number 76, 6'2", 283 pounds. And here come the chains. This is when our camera guys make their money, right? Get those tight shots. And it looks like they will be short. It'll be a 3rd down.
Third down coming up.
coming into the booth is Don Lang, the athletic director for North Shore.
You're always dropping names.
It's always good to see Don. Feeling good? Okay. Great.
Third down and short. Come on, Glen Cove
So
fans,
3rd
get
and
loud.
short.
Of course, Don's happy to see his team up 25-0.
Twin receivers to the top of your screen. DeSimone takes the handoff, goes over the middle, and it's incomplete. The intended receiver was let in.
Seen a lot of passes sail wide today. I think the quarterback's a little over anxious and excited. That gets down a little bit. We've got a touchdown reception there for North Shore.
Yeah, the receivers have run their routes, and they've been open downfield. Now, Agavino says, too, we're not kind of that big play offense. You know, we're more, we get our 3-4 yards at a clip, just moving the chains. Clearly, with where they are on the field, this is 4th and 1. So we'll see if it's a little keeper here. There's the handoff. And there's the first down. Great job. I think it was LaRosa. And actually, no, sorry, it was Murphy on the carry. What I liked, what Murphy did there, you saw he put his hand out, right? And he just rode the offensive lineman to that first down.
Yeah, he was very patient with the blocking. And they're, pushing the offensive lineman forward. And that was enough there for a Viking first down. Very impressive with the offensive line for North Shore.
Fake handoff up the middle. DeSimone. That was nearly broken for another score.
Brought down by Rio.
Yeah.
Nice tackle in the secondary.
Yeah, Rios with the wrap-up, or that could have been 6.
Yeah, Rios, a guy for Glen Cove, not leaving the field. We saw him punt the ball. He'll kick the ball as well. He's on the offense. He's on the defense. The concern for Tripp coming into this game with his 4-4 defense was the QB, DeSimone. He says he runs very effectively. They do a lot of different formations. They try to find your weakness and attack it. And there goes Murphy again inside, cutting up the middle, getting just shy of the end zone. 1st and goal for the Vikings.
Well, North Shore set up right now. I mean, they have controlled this game, and they're going to go hurry up.
Murphy, the workhorse. Again, the handoff, little stutter step into the end zone for the touchdown.
Yeah, too easy there for North Shore. Gaping hole right through the left side, and they have taken a commanding lead in this game, Dylan, looking to go 2-1 in the early part of the season.
You mentioned lacrosse guys. That's another one there as Murphy celebrates his score with Luke Kenny. We take a look again. Murphy, again, the little stutter step to kind of see where the hole is, and then he runs right through it for the easy score. Another touchdown for Murphy. He came into this game with 2 for the 2-year starter. The extra point is up, and it is good.
So 32-0.
And Murphy, 7 carries, 67 yards for a touchdown and a Week 1 opening win over Flora Park. He's got a couple of scores now to lead North Shore to what looks to be a commanding win in Week 3. 32-0 Vikings. 6:43 to go in the 3rd quarter. You're watching Nassau Conference 3 football on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And welcome back to Glen Cove. Dylan Butler, Ben Turchin on a perfect early fall night. I think especially if you're wearing white and green. It's all Vikings right now. 32-0 over Glen Cove. We thank you for watching the Varsity Media Game of the Week.
Yeah, you know, talk about the weather. Used to be in September was the fall, but I think it's still summertime on Long Island in September. I don't think we get the fall till October now. I'm not complaining either.
I mean, October's right around the corner.
Yeah, but it's still summertime in my mind. I mean, people are walking around in shorts today.
Well, today, yes. I think tonight you feel it a little bit. It's a little. There's a nice crisp air here on the North Shore of Long Island.
Yeah. Right up on the water. Very beautiful area.
1st and 10, Glen Cove.
Glen Cove. 1st down, Christopher. Looks for options. Ball deflected, and it's complete.
Did he hang on?
No, he did
Nolan
not.
almost comes down with it.
That was almost an unbelievable catch by Nolan. The intended receiver was Rodriguez. He was covered tight. Then it looked like it was interception, and then Nolan nearly gets the reception.
Well, just look at the velocity on these throws. I mean, it was so hard that he couldn't even come up with the interception, but it's unfortunate that Nolan couldn't come down with the ball.
The INT nearly by La Rosa. We've called his name a lot.
2nd down and 10.
On both sides of the ball. 2nd and 10. There's the quick pass. This time it goes to Nolan. Nolan cuts inside, gets a couple of yards.
That time Nolan able to secure the ball. And I like that mentality. Hey, you dropped that one. We're going to go right back to you and show confidence in you as a receiver. And that's exactly what Coach Tripp did.
Yeah, Nolan comes into this game, 7 receptions, 74 yards. Because he's lined up off the next to Rodriguez, he's getting those additional yards when Rodriguez gets double covered, and he's got to come up with those plays, does there. This time a lob down the sideline looking for Nolan. Contact, but no foul. Good non-call there as it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't think Nolan ever saw that the ball was coming his way. I don't think he looked up on that. He did get tripped up like you said.
But that's that other part, Ben, where Coach Tripp says Christopher's gotten better, right? Where a year ago he would throw the ball where you were.
Right.
Now he's throwing it to the spot you should be.
Right. I am curious to see if he could throw this ball 100 yards with his arm. I mean, he has a bullet for an arm. I mean, look, we saw McKee last week.
Yeah.
I'd put his velocity right up there with him as well.
And again, 6 feet, 220, right?
Yeah.
So he's got good size. You think if he was probably, 2 inches or 3 inches taller, he'd have a lot of colleges eyeballing him.
Well, you never know. You could be moved to a different position as well. I mean, he's got speed.
He has that. Rios with the punt, and it trickles out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. So North Shore will take over on offense after scoring on their first possession with Murphy finding the end zone. And again, a concern for North Shore coming into this game was not having Will Scarola. Now, we mentioned Lenny Scarola. They are twin brothers. They're both seniors. Will Scarola, number 2, is injured this week. They hope to have him back for next week, but he's that guy that Agavino says gives his team a heartbeat. Without him, they're going to have to try to look for others, especially on the defensive side. They've had to switch things around. Now, La Rosa's gotten a lot of Scarola's carries, but then defensively, they had to scheme differently, especially for Rodriguez. We'll talk more about that when they go on defense, but now they are on offense, and there's the first carry going up the middle out towards the 45-yard line. And there we have more of those scores. Bethpage finding the answer to that early deficit. They're up 7-3. Southside, we mentioned the final, over Hewlett, 35-14. We saw Southside earlier this year on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You knew Bethpage was going to put it in at some point. You couldn't hold them down at home for the entire game. So Roddy McCoy has got his boys with the lead here.
Down and 4.
Second down for North Shore. Again, Ledden is in motion. He gets the handoff, runs around the end, and again gets into the extra level. He's got Rodriguez, who forces him out of bounds. A fantastic touchdown-saving tackle. And how about the sportsmanship there as well? Rodriguez waits for Ledden, pulls him up, and pats him on the butt. Good job of sportsmanship there by Rodriguez, but another big run by Ledden just inside the 11-yard line.
Take a look again. Look at that speed.
How about Rodriguez, too?
Yep.
Just the angle, too, that he takes to make sure he could wrap him up, pull him down. And like I said, he wasn't standing over him to say anything about the tackle. He was just waiting for Ledden to be able to get back up.
It's interesting that Rodriguez had the same speed Ledden did on that. Ledden bypassed everybody except for Rodriguez, and he's made a lot of touchdown-saving tackles in this game.
So first down, there's the handoff, and it looked to be Murphy bouncing inside. Big boys there in the picture, hard to see, but it'll be a second down now for the Vikings.
And that's, I think, the story of the game when you look back on it, is how dominating the offense and defensive line has been for North Shore. Dylan, they've had their way on both sides of the ball. And, you ask any football coach at any level, if you can build your team with a dominant offense and defensive line, you're going to be successful.
Yeah, we'll shout those guys out again. Racine, Franco, Caparella, Damphouse, and Lerman up front for the Vikings. Fake handoff. Bursting outside is DeSimone, and he finds the edge for the touchdown.
Touchdown, North Shore.
Going around the right side. And once again, we talked about the offensive line, giving him plenty of running room to get in there.
Yeah, the right tackle is Lerman, number 66. We'll look the replay, see how much of an impact he had on that play.
You see a pulling guard, 58, coming across. And I think that was the difference in the block.
Yeah, Franco.
Yep,
again.
Franco.
We've talked about him all game long on both sides of the ball. Agavino, says that Franco is the man. There's no doubt about it. A great football player. On the offensive side, they're looking for pancake blocks out of him, and of course, he's so active defensively, and that's where, as the point after is up and good, the defensive side is where Franco is getting those looks and offers. He's got Johns Hopkins and Williams. Yale still in the mix for Franco. He has that ability to play D1, but likely a 1AA or D3 as we take another look at that point after.
Dylan, I think the story tonight and around Conference 3 is going to be North Shore. You know, what to make of them. We talked about next week they're at home against Hewlett, who lost today to Southside. Hewlett's 2-1, so that's a big game next week. A 2-1 versus a 2-1, but you know, North Shore is able to take that game. All of a sudden, 3-1. I know they started the year with a low seed, so they have work to do with seeding points, but got to keep an eye on the Vikings now here halfway through.
I would agree, and I think for a lot of those reasons that you said, they've got physical, athletic players up front on both sides of the football. They've got a quarterback who can run the football, and they've just got a lot of guys. They don't have a superstar, right? They've just got a lot of guys who want to play ball, and as you mentioned, look, a year ago, 2-6, so they're well on their way to matching their win total of a year ago already just in week 3.
So let's take a look at what they got going on. So after Hewlett, there'll be a big contest, and we'll know all we need to know about North Shore on October 12th, Dylan, and then when they travel to Bethpage. So after next week's Hewlett game, they go Bethpage, Mineola, Division, and Valley Stream North. I'll tell you what, they could run the table.
Bold statement.
This is not that difficult of a schedule for North Shore. Bethpage is probably, as we watch this play develop,
and that's a flag. It'll likely be a face mask.
That Mineola Division game, those are both at North Shore. Valley Stream on the road. We don't know seeding points too early in the season, but I wouldn't be surprised if they sneak in, maybe as an 8 seed.
Yeah, and again, you know, I go back to that story, right, where they slugged it out with Wanta for 4 quarters, and that was a difference. You go back a year ago, and that game was over after the first quarter.
Right.
This time they gave a very physical, tough Wanta team all they could handle. And Agavino says, look, this is a special group. They're fighters. And again, he said he was impressed they were upset after the loss. He said it's been a good week of practice this week. They've refocused. They're getting back to the intensity of wanting to come out and win, and they're not happy with just playing a good game. They want to get the win.
Yeah, I mean, next week's a big game for both teams. Hewlett and North Shore, that's a big game at North Shore. And I would say if North Shore can get by Hewlett, then they've got another big game against Bethpage. So very interesting with their schedule around Conference 3. Of course, if you do get the 8 seed, Dylan, you're going to wind up playing Plain Edge.
Yeah, but you know what, though? I mean, there's certain games, right? I think that it makes your program better. You want to play the best teams. You want to play in the biggest games. And Plain Edge wasn't too far in the same boat a couple years ago as well, looking to play the likes of Lawrence and Roosevelt and those teams. So Plain Edge a year ago, of course, they win the conference. They go on. They lose in Long Island Championship. They've got high aspirations this year, and they've got virtually everybody back as well. Looking forward to seeing them as the season continues.
Yeah, we will see Plain Edge at some point this season. We can promise you that around Conference 3. And we should, all right, we're going to play, but we'll remind folks about next weekend's games too. Not just the game of the week, but plural, Dylan, games of the week.
So here we go. Glen Cove on offense. Christopher back to pass. Goes to the left. Not a lot there for Milanese.
Just an easy pass in the flat, get something going. Try to get some momentum here in the third quarter. And at this point right now, I think the crowd, the team, the community, let's get some points on the board. Let's start feeling good about ourselves here as the game sort of comes to an end. But it'd be great to see Glen Cove get on the board.
Nice open field tackle there as well. Ends up being a loss of about 3. There's the handoff. Wilberg tries to cut around the corner. He does, and he gets a lot more than it looked like he'd get initially.
That's what Glen Cove needs. Let's build off a couple of plays here, get that momentum, and who knows, with the quarterback and receiver combination, maybe they get a big play coming up.
I almost
soon.
criticized the senior for not going north-south, for trying to go sideline, but proved me wrong there by breaking a tackle and getting a few extra. So a 3rd and short now for the Big Red.
3rd down and a short 1.
Have to keep an eye on the quarterback and see if Christopher uses legs.
Yeah, just about getting a first down at this point. There's the handoff, and they will get the first down.
Bonet ahead for Glen Cove.
Bonet gets ahead for the first down. The junior averaging 5.1 yards per carry. And that's big just for their psyche, right? You get a first down, you move the chains. And there's Bonet with the handoff, and he got hit hard, but
1st and 10.
earned his first down. Christopher, back to pass, rolls right, looks,
Christopher Nolan.
and he finds Nolan
First
for
down, Glen
another
Cove.
first down.
I find Christopher to be at his best outside of the pocket, Dylan. And I would like to see more of that. I know we're late in the game here, but we've seen a couple of times where he's rolled out and has completed passes, and North Shore doesn't have a defense for that.
Nolan, usually the second option to Rodriguez, but Rodriguez is on the bench right now. So Nolan taking over those extra opportunities. Christopher takes it for himself, barrels forward for a first down and more. Well, get out of the way, the train is coming.
If you're a Glen Cove fan, you're thinking to yourself, where was this all game? I mean, you're rolling your quarterback out. Now you're moving him, or keeping the ball in his hands to gain a first down. And Glen Cove has this in their system offensively. You need to see more of this.
That's 220 pounds with some steam behind them, barreling forward. Another first down as the clock ticks down to the end of this 3rd quarter. Man in motion. Man in motion moving out of bounds. There was an extra man on the field. Christopher takes it himself. Turns the corner. Jukes outside. Dives for the first down.
Let's hear it, fans. Come on.
And Christopher looking to take his team on his back here as the 3rd quarter winds down. You like to see this from your senior.
Absolutely, and I like that they're giving him the ability now, or the freedom, I should say, to keep the ball, tuck and run, get the first down, and more importantly, Dylan, move the chains.
He's moved the chains and moved the clock to the end of the 3rd quarter. North Shore 39, Glen Cove nothing, but the Big Red are looking for a big score. 3 quarters in the books. You're watching Nassau Conference 3 football on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And welcome back to Glen Cove. Dylan Butler, Ben Turchin here. 4th quarter about to start, and if you're a fan of the Big Red, you're excited here because, I mean, look, the score on the bottom of your screen, North Shore's winning the football game. We're not breaking news here,
right.
But there's always learning moments in a game, and always an opportunity where even if you don't win this game, you're playing for next week and the next opportunity. So here's a chance for Glen Cove to get into the end zone.
Yeah, I think you're playing right now more short term for some success on the field tonight. You still got a quarter to work with. Try to get in, try to punch it in, and they have moved the sticks.
Milanese in motion, gets the ball, cuts to the outside, and
Milanese with
barrels
the ball.
forward close to the first down marker.
Another nice run here by the Big Red.
And Milanese got some speed, and he's that sweep guy. 2nd and 3.
2nd down and 2.
Again, Milanese. This time Christopher goes the other way. He is hard to take down.
It's going to be close.
Gonna be close.
Ball security is important here.
It looked like Brandon Centeno grabbed him, but then he just kept going. Watch, they got him right there, and then he just kept going and pushing forward and moving those legs, and he got the 1st and goal.
That's it. First down for Glen Cove here.
And that's what you always teach kids, to keep those legs moving no matter what.
1st and goal.
Let's see if the Big Red can punch it in. Christopher, hands off, going around the edge, and just shy of the end zone was Jason Garcia.
About the 1.
Yeah, we called his name a bunch defensively, but now he's getting an opportunity here to punch this in, and a nice little run. And Glen Cove, Dylan, I think this crowd is antsy for a touchdown.
Milanese in motion. Christopher goes his way and goes in and out of his hands.
You had mentioned a comment earlier about going east and west instead of north and south. They've been so successful on this drive going north and south. I really love the play call going there on the goal line situation. I want the quarterback or the running back. Let's go north and south towards the goal line.
3rd down now for Glen Cove. They are 5 yards from the end zone.
3rd down and goal.
Christopher calls the play out. Lets Garcia know on his hip. Christopher calls his own number, and he gets in to the end zone. Touchdown, Glen Cove.
And you hear the crowd. They've been waiting for this all night long, Dylan. Christopher, the senior leader for his team, and he deserves it, folks. He played a hell of a game, moving around the pocket at times, completing passes, showing his speed, and give the big fella the touchdown. Glen Cove's on the board.
Yeah, Christopher, first rushing touchdown of the season. You see the faked handoff and cuts inside, and I'll tell you, this drive was so much Devon Christopher just orchestrating everything, just putting his team on his back. And again, he came into this game averaging 4.8 carries per game. He had 28 carries for 135 yards on the season, and snap and kick were low, so the extra point is no good. But you love the response here for Glen Cove.
And I think moving forward, Coach is going to learn more about his team, and I think he's going to call more plays for Christopher, and maybe with his legs, because he's been so dynamic as a runner.
And Christopher, again, he split time as a sophomore. Tripp says he's very coachable. He's learning so much more every year, every game, every opportunity that he has. We mentioned the improvements he's made throwing the football. But I asked him, I said, at 6 foot 220, how mobile is he? He says, listen, he is mobile. He finds a way when we can get him the ball into space. And even there, we saw Christopher. It was even a lot of those hard yards. There you see Devon Christopher earning that drink of water on the sideline for sure. But a lot of that was hard yards. He wasn't getting to the outside. He was running through tackles, running over guys as well. A deserved touchdown for Devon Christopher.
Next week, Glen Cove is on the road to division. And we'll see what happens there for Glen Cove, looking for their first win of the season. And that's a winnable game. I mean, on the road it'll be tough, but, Glen Cove put something together, a little bit more Christopher. Rodriguez could have the ingredients of a victory, Dylan. They put it all together.
Again, Rodriguez on the bench right now. Looks like he's holding his lower back. And I think that's another encouraging sign if you're Glen Cove that your best playmaker
Right.
wasn't in that series, and you were still able to find the end zone.
But you hope that he's healthy and ready
Yes.
to play for next week. It doesn't look like he's going to come back into this game, which I think is the right decision.
Yeah, he's been so impactful, too, on both sides of the ball. Rios, long kick, fielded at about the 1 and out past the 20-yard line, where North Shore will take over on offense.
Now, at this point in the game, I think it's about North Shore getting some experience. Maybe we're going to see some players that don't get into the game have an opportunity here to make a name for themselves. Again, been an outstanding atmosphere here at Glen Cove High School. And we thank Peter Cardone, the athletic director, for having us here. And also to North Shore, Don Lang, Megan McCormick, and the entire athletic staff at North Shore.
Who's better than Megan McCormick?
They are, as Don was up here in the booth before, said, hey, when you live stream our games, we're 2-0. Assuming that they win today, we're 2-0. So now he's jockeying for us to show up to all the North Shore games. But a great atmosphere here again tonight.
And also thanks as well to the both coaches for their time leading up to this game and giving us all the information on the teams. There's the handoff on first down. Up the middle. There's Calber. Nice tackle by the big number 85.
Yeah, it's good to see that Glen Cove is still playing. At this point, you're down 39-6, Dylan. High school kids can easily be given up. Heads not into the game, but that's not the case here defensively. Like to see that.
Jackson Cooperman with the run. So you mentioned different names now,
Yep.
and an opportunity for a lot of guys to get some run now.
Yeah, I think we have a new quarterback as well.
High snap, inside handoff. The run again by Cooperman. A nice tackle to force the third down.
And it looks like Christofari is getting some action, a quarterback for the Vikings, number 10.
Yeah, 5'8", 130 junior. And this is the type of situation that DeSimone, for example, didn't have last year, where he was on the sideline for pretty much the entire year, really for 2 years, with Dan Lavorti, the two-time all-county quarterback.
And this is experience. You put something on tape, you can be coached on what you do here. We'll see if they allow him to throw a pass. I doubt it, but
well, he calls his own number. He swarmed pretty quickly, so it'll be a 3 and out. Calber again in on the tackle. He's a guy, Trips calls him a punisher. He said when we've had a big play, generally defensively, it's been him, and here you see again. He wasn't alone on this 85, but there you see finding a way, getting in on the tackle.
And Glen Cove's going to get the ball back.
And they should get pretty good field position on this as well.
Wilbur back to you.
Oh, Calber jumped.
Flag on the play.
So he did everything right leading up on back-to-back plays, but then he jumps on the line. And actually, they'll call it the other way. So I think Calber was reacting to the movement on the offensive line. So you'll move 5 more yards back, and Big Red has another opportunity.
Yeah, and they're going to get the best field possession that they've had in this game.
Fourth down and 10 after
Assuming
the
this is a fieldable ball. Could be inside North Shore territory.
And they've got their starting running back, Wilberg, deep. He's the only one deep. North Shore letting a lot of this clock, or as much as possible, wind down before they punt the football. And now they'll call a timeout.
Timeout, North Shore.
We'll take the opportunity as well to take a break. 6:27 left here in the fourth quarter. North Shore 39, Glen Cove 6. You're watching Nassau Conference 3 football on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And welcome back to Glen Cove. Timeout is over. Here's the punt. End over end. Takes a nice bounce for the Vikings and will be fielded at about their own 49-yard line.
And we've got a back and forth game, Dylan, in Conference 3 out in Bethpage. I'll tell you that score here in a second.
Yeah, so Mineola had the lead early, right? It was 3-0, and then Bethpage came back. They led 7-3. Always a fun atmosphere at Bethpage on a Friday night. And whoa, how about this? Mineola gets the response to Bethpage's response. Back and forth we go. They lead it 10-7 in the third.
Yeah, I got to say, I am very surprised, but it's good to see Dan Guido, head coach of Mineola, that Mineola can hang in Conference 3. There were questions, and they got the 9 seed coming in too. And holding his own against Bethpage, not an easy place to get a victory. We'll see what shakes out with that game. We'll keep you updated as we stay on the air.
So Wilberg powers forward for a few.
And one other thing in Conference 3, I want to give Phil Onesto a lot of credit. We were there week 1 against Southside playing week 1, and he's off to a 3-0 start. And they were in the semifinals, losing to Wanto last year. Getting the 2 seed this year, Dylan, which is the highest they've been in a while. So a lot of people expect them to be facing Plain Edge Nassau County Championships.
Yeah, clearly base 2 on what they have back as Milanese in motion, gets the ball in the handoff, tries to cut inside, but a swarming defensive stop will result in a loss of a few yards for the Big Red.
Of course, they go to Plain Edge October 25th, and we may have an announcement on that at some point.
By the way, I don't know if there's a better facility for high school sports in Nassau County that's strictly on campus than maybe Plain Edge has.
There is none. There really isn't, and they deserve it for so long. They went from not, maybe one of the worst, just in terms of, bleachers and fan experience and things like that, to now the best. And, hopefully we'll get over there this season and catch a good game here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Yeah, if you haven't been over there, it's spectacular.
Yep.
The stands are all new, a massive, for those who would enjoy such an experience like we would, a massive press box.
Right.
The opposite side, a huge video board.
Correct.
Where they have replays and live game action. It's really, really very impressive.
Yeah, and you're seeing more high schools put things like that in for the fan experience because they want the community to come out. And it's working at Plain Edge, and it's working in here at Glen Cove as well. Look at this crowd
and it's
on a
funny,
Friday night.
And it's funny, too. You talk about Plain Edge, right, North Massapequa, and then you look around the immediate area, Massapequa High School itself, right? Everything is brand new there. They've got a fantastic – they were one of those – we were talking before the game about all grass facilities. They were one of the last in Conference 1 to have that. They have a brand new turf field and baseball field. Everything is new, that whole complex. Farmingdale, new field there as well, new bleachers, new press box. So that whole area – it's like if you have a well manicured lawn, right? Your next door neighbor wants one as well. Right. So that's really good to see, really, for all of not just football but all of high school athletics in Nassau County. Nice tackle on first down. Barrington Loftman with the stop. Tripp likes Loftman a lot. He said he was a spot starter as part of a 3-man rotation at end a year ago for 2 guys, so he rotated in. This year, he's that main guy, and others are rotating around him. Wasn't part of the roster in week 1. Came out late, had to get his practices in, but he's been really working so hard. He's getting all of the defensive reps now as that anchor at the end. End around here for North Shore, and what a tackle. Cal Bearer with the tackle. Another guy, too, big number 85. We've mentioned his name a lot.
Well, you like to see here on this run, Brandon Centeno, number 30. His uniform is so white, after the long day, and you see a lot of guys with the grass on the stains and all that on the uniforms. But you see guys getting an opportunity with the fresh unis, and
See,
he
that's
wants to
another-
dirty that up.
Sorry, Ben. That's another reason why I love the grass facilities, right? Because especially when it gets later in the season, you get some mud, and you don't get that on the turf. Up the middle, first down, and then some.
Edson Morello with stop.
So good job by Cristofari.
Yeah, how about the quarterback here in the fourth quarter with a nice run and a first.
And you mentioned the offensive line, and again, right, he just follows
Yep.
the hole, which opened up right in front of him, and Murillo with the open field tackle. So certainly this was a fun experience here tonight. Obviously the result a little bit one way for North Shore, but just a great night here at Glen Cove. Just a game day experience, a fun one. Zeke hurt to the outside. He's knocked out of bounds after getting the first down.
Big hit on the sideline. I think it was 8 there for Glen Cove, and possibly number 2 on the far side. Definitely felt it.
And Hurt, nice block, gets to the outside.
Yeah, 2 guys combine in on the hit.
Yeah, big collision.
Yep.
Good to see Hurt pop right back up. Agavino said coming into this game they wanted to move the ball quickly, especially early on. Felt with his guys up front and just generally a lot of good athletes on his team. And now they will go into victory formation here under 2 minutes left. So this will be a big win for the Vikings. And we said it before. Week 1, they win at Floral Park 36-7. A tough loss to Wantagh, and you want to see the response. And this is the way you respond if you're North Shore with a big 39-6 win.
You said it. We saw the team come off the bus. They were all about business today, and it showed on the field the way they played, and it showed on the scoreboard today as well, 39-6. I think, like I said, I think they're going to sneak up on some people in Conference 3.
I suspect in that, 11-minute drive to go back to North Shore.
Yep.
I
Yes.
think a little less serious on that bus ride back. I think there'll be a few more smiles than we saw coming off the bus as another kneel down for the Vikings. And if you're Glen Cove, look, again, it's a learning experience, another opportunity. You see our broadcast next week. That is going to be a great one. Oceanside, Freeport, a rematch of the Nassau Conference 1 championship game a year ago, won by the Red Devils. This was a fun experience here tonight. That one's always great out of Freeport on a Friday night.
Yeah, I don't know that there's a better high school football team on Long Island, Nassau, Suffolk, than Freeport right now. We saw them.
It's a nice statement. I like it.
Really? I mean, listen, William Floyd, that was a close game last year in the LIC, 20-19, but they won. They're returning. Terrence Edmonds is back. The whole cast of characters are back. So many guys that helped win a championship for Russ Helen last year. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Until you prove me otherwise, I think they're the team to beat.
All right, well, Rob Blount, he's giving you no chance to win that game. I'm kidding, of course. But that should be a great one. We're looking forward to that one next Friday. And, of course, as part of our double-header weekend, Friday night in Freeport and then Saturday night at Cold Spring Harbor.
We give you a Conference 1 showdown, and then we give you a Conference 4 showdown. If some people think Oceanside is top 2 team in Conference 1, these are definitely the top 2 teams in Conference 4. They've always battled out back and forth, although it's been Cold Spring Harbor of late the past few years. John Mandreski doing a great job over there with the Seahawks. We're excited for that one Saturday night under the lights at Cold Spring Harbor.
And those 2 games we'll have next weekend could be rounds 1 of maybe 2. We might see those 2 matchups as well out at Hofstra-Stewart Stadium come November when it's a little bit colder than it is right now. But that will just about do it here from Glen Cove. Again, the final score, you see it on the bottom of your screen. North Shore 39, Glen Cove 6. The Vikings improved to 2-1 on the season. The Big Red are now 0-3. For Ben Turchin and our cast of thousands here who make this broadcast possible, I am Dylan Butler, once again reminding you 39-6 your final. We look forward to seeing you next weekend on the Varsity Media Sports Network.